So I think you can start with any saint that you want, and I think we're going to start with Diana Jones because she's got these different abilities that let her examine cards on the top of her deck, and that way she can see what's coming, and no one else has that right now, so she's gonna be the first one because I sort of want to know what's coming up. So we're going to begin with our Magic Mason Jar. So this is a support. You can play it on your support step. Oh, first step actually is to draw a card from the Doomsday Clock, and this was an Omen of Hope. We're going to take that, and then she's going to go into the support step, and we're going to recycle this card to examine the top card of our location or our nexus. It is a Lost Soul, which should be very, very easy for her to deal with. So now she can decide which Omen she wants to play in order to get her Investigate. You have to play an Omen in order to Investigate, generally. This one says, flip your Nexus to Doom. We don't have to do that and investigate it. You can evaluate Trash the highest Mind die. Well, I know I'm not going to be using Mind, so this would be a good time to play this, and I don't have to take the bad effect. So you're supposed to sacrifice these, put them back in the box. I tend to display them until the end of my Investigate phase, because sometimes it's hard to remember exactly what effects it gave you. Like if I investigated something and it turned out there was a mind check in it because I hadn't looked ahead, I would want to remember that. So I put these next to the location until I'm done investigating. But, so, looking at this card, oh no, it's a Lost Soul. So we've encountered a ghost in the wings of the theater, or something like that. So this, I have a choice of two different checks that I can make against this. I can make a soul check or a rage check. Now her rage is 2, her soul is 4. I know what I'd pick. Also, this has the conjure or the sense skills. So I can use my sense against this one, which gives me, remember, +2 bonus dice. So this is a good idea. And I don't have any fear of losing this check, because even if I roll terribly, I can still use Diana's ability to flip a die. So, unless I roll all ones, which would be very unlikely, we should be fine. But it does say, during Evaluate, I have to trash the highest die. But I think I'm rolling enough dice, it's not going to be a problem. So let's see. Well, yeah, it turns out I really needed to use this ability. That's pretty interesting. So I can discard one card to flip a die. I'm going to need to do that. But let's look at what happens. What's the order of events? Because this is important. Evaluate. I first re-roll. If I had re-roll abilities, I don't. You can get re-roll abilities from people assisting you, or you might be forced to do a re-roll. Explode. None of my dice explode because I don't have that ability. Upgrade, downgrade, flip, then trash. Then I keep 3. So I'm going to have to flip something. This is sort of unfortunate because otherwise I'd trash this 5. Now, I don't want to trash the 5 because then I don't have enough to succeed in the check, and that's no good. So I'm going to discard Grey Malkin, I think. And we are going to flip one of these ones into a 6. That happens before I trash. So now this 6 is the highest. I have to trash it, which is get rid of it. But I can still pick 3 remaining dice, and I pick 5, 8, 11, and I have succeeded against the Lost Soul. So this one gave me a little trouble, more than expected, but I did get it. Okay. So I've defeated a threat, which means it goes out of play. If I had lost, I would have had to shuffle the threat into a random other nexus, but I didn't lose. Okay, I could still explore if I want, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to recycle another Magic Mason Jar to see what else is coming up. So I'm going to look. I have another support step. You can repeat support and investigate steps as much as you want. So I'm going to look, and it is a really cool grimoire. It has Conjure and Study as skills. Conjure would be really good for River, and plus he's really good at the, what do you call it, the soul checks. So I might want to save that for him. I think I could get it by myself. I mean, I can do Conjure, I'd be rolling 4 5 dice. I would need to get a 13. That's even harder than the check I just did. Versus if River were to do it, he would have a fairly good chance. I think we're going to go for it because her hand is almost empty anyway. So we are going to, now we're done with this one, we're going to sacrifice this Omen of Hope. And we're going to investigate, which means we're going to encounter this grimoire. And we are going to deal with it. So I can choose a mind, which I don't want to do, or a soul check. I'm going to choose the soul check. And because I think I really want this grimoire, I think I'm going to get assistance on it. So I look over at River, and he has a 4 facing to his right in soul, which means he can assist me to let me re-roll up to 4 dice on my soul checks because I am sitting to his right if you sort of go around the table. So not only do I get to roll these 5 dice, but I get to re-roll them once, which is awesome. However, if I'm getting assistance, I have to get a mutation. So we're going to see what random mutation I get, and these can be very, very bad sometimes. Sometimes not even worth doing. Let's see. Fragile. That's no good. So we have to roll, since I'm getting assisted by 1 saint, I roll a 1 die. And something bad is going to happen during the evaluate step. I rolled a 4, so it means if I fail the check, I sacrifice 1 gift. So this is a pretty nice result. So let's roll against this grimoire and see if we can find this grimoire that was stashed inside one of the programs at the theater. Oh, wow. Didn't need my rerolls. I got it, baby. So grimoire is going to me, and this mutation is no longer important. That's the thing about mutations is, you know, often I can succeed at this check anyway. The mutations add an element of risk that I'm not sure about. But you know what? That's fine. So we are done with that investigate step. I think I'm not going to do any more investigates because I don't have any more. I'm not going to do any more supports, although these are both support abilities. So we were going to go on to the sanctify step. We skip the sanctify step unless something tells us we can sanctify. So we're going to go to the transfer step. I either move or give another saint a card. And I believe it is any saint at your nexus. Let me check that. Give a card from your hand to another saint at your nexus. They should have put that on the player guide. So I am going to give this grimoire to River because I know he's going to be able to use it even better. It's normally a bury ability, which means I only get to use it once per mission. But since it's conjure, he can just discard it and he can reuse it as much as he wants. That's so cool. His abilities are really cool. And I could not move anyway because of the along the trail structure, which means that basically I can only move once I've sealed a nexus. So we're good. We go to the end step where we reset our hand. So if I had more cards in my hand than I needed, I could recycle the excess ones instead of discarding them like you would in Pathfinder. And then I draw back up to my hand size, which is on my character, which is 5. So we're drawing 4 extra cards. That's why I said 4. And that's it. We're good. So then pass the turn to River, and he's going to start his turn. All right, River's looking around, and he's got 2 good omens in his hand. And remember, you can only investigate if you have an omen, usually. So this one says, flip your nexus to hope and investigate it. In a void, you may avoid. This one says, flip your nexus to hope and investigate it. And assemble using soul, add 1 bonus die. We're going to start with, it doesn't really matter because we don't know what's coming up. Although, I guess she could use the Vice Dog. She is going to use the Vice Dog because she can use it on anybody's support step. So she's going to use the Vice Dog to examine 1. And if it's a threat, she gets to recycle instead of discard. It was not a threat. It's tech support. So we are going to... we don't get to recycle, sorry. So now he knows what's coming up. Let's see. I think I don't want to avoid that. so we are going to use our good karma, and if we assemble using soul, we get an extra die. So, exploring the theater, I guess he finds a guy who's really good at tech support, and he's like, hey, maybe you can, hack these lights or something, and I don't know, do something bad with that, because there's a devil. Anyway, so I can use hack or study. I don't have hack or study, and I get to do either a mind or a soul check. Well, his mind is not great. It's 2. He's a little stoned, I guess, but his soul is very high. So I can use one of these to boost my soul, and then add an extra die from that, and also I get to add any skills from that card. So for instance, I have my grimoire and I have my keyhole necklace. Now normally I would discard this keyhole necklace to boost soul, but since it's a conjure card, I can lower the cost by 1. So instead of discarding, I can recycle this keyhole necklace. So I'm going to do that. I'm boosting my soul, which means I add 1 soul die. Since I'm already at 4 soul dice, I get to add a bonus die. And I get to add a bonus die because of my good karma. And because I recycled this, I get to add the charm or conjure skill, and I have conjure 1, so I get to add another die. This should be okay. I think I can get a 15 on this. Hopefully. And if not, maybe there's things I can do to reroll. But I think this is a good to start. Okay, so I've got my best is 8, 13. So is there anything I can do to affect this roll? I could sacrifice my dead sea salts to flip the dice, but do I really want this card that badly? I don't think I really care that much about the tech support card, so I'm just going to say, you know what? Never mind. Sorry, I was not able to convince you to help me hack the lights, but sorry, dude, not interested. So I'm going to use my next omen to investigate it again, and I can avoid if I want to, which means recycle the card back into the deck if I don't think I can deal with it. And this is a bushwhack threat. I ain't never shot a man what's looking at me. Okay, so if I win, I can investigate again. If I lose, I have to confront a new threat. This is sort of bad, and it's difficult to deal with. I can do a 10 mind or 15 of any other thing. Again, his mind isn't great, but rolling a 15 is pretty tough too. It is sense, so he can use his sense 1 against it. And I guess I could use the grimoire to basically get my... Well, I would get to roll an extra... No, actually, if I'm using mind, I don't want to get rid of this prayer wheel yet, because it's a good healing ability. In fact, I want to use this prayer wheel on my next support step. So, I think I'm going to just be rolling my 2 mind dice plus a sense die against it. That's sort of risky, so I'm going to see if I can do anything to help. Okay, so Frank can use his Halligan bar to help with this threat. He's going to say, hey, here, we're going to recycle this to add 1 body or rage die. If you're not skilled in strike, suffer 1 body damage. Well, he is skilled in strike. I think that's how this works. So we are going to add 1 body or rage die, which means I am currently rolling my 2 mind dice, and one of these has like a bubble in it that I don't want to use. Let me see. Yeah, this is the one. So this die has like a little bump on it. I'm going to try and avoid using that if I can. So we're rolling our 2 mind dice, 1 from the sense, and 1 from... I thought I had something with the Fae cards. I must have already used it. And 1 body die. And we're going to see if we can win against this threat. Wow. Yeah, I definitely succeeded at that. I got 13. So we get to investigate again. And we investigate again right away. And it's a thing in the basement. Let's look around and see what's here. Okay, this is really cool. I get to investigate, and I'm going to use my soul or my mind. I'm definitely going to use soul for this one. I roll 4 dice plus 1 from the sense. I think I can hit a 12 on that. If not, I do get to use my Dead Sea Salts if I have to. And if I win, I get to search my Nexus for an archetype, which is that Master or Minion card, and put it back on top of the deck, which is really cool. So let's see if we can do this. All right, yeah, definitely got that. So Thing in the Basement has been defeated now, and we're going to search our deck. Well, there's the minion right there. Put it back on top of the deck, and we know what's coming up now. Okay, so that's River's turn. We're going to move on to Frank. All right, so it is, if I remember correctly, it's Frank Block's turn here. So we are going to do his thing. We're going to start with the start step, which you draw the top card of the Doomsday Clock, and it was an Omen of Hope. Now remember, the omens of doom and hope don't really make as much of a difference in this mission. Normally, it would flip this Nexus, which the doom side of the Nexus is really bad, and the hope side of the Nexus is good. But in this case, it just says what it does. It just does what it says on the card. So, suffer 1 body or rage damage, then flip your Nexus to doom and investigate it. That sounds like not a great thing. Or flip your Nexus to hope and investigate it and confront. Decrease your damage to 0. That sounds like a much better thing. If I can, I want to try and play this Omen of Doom when I don't have any cards left in my hand, because then the damage does nothing. So I'm going to start with this Omen of Hope. Indignation. I demand to see the stage manager. Oh yeah, I forgot. Wasn't there like a master or minion or something on the top of this deck? I think there was. Let's see what we get. Minion 2. Okay, so Minion 2, according to the mission, Minion 2 is Minion A, which is a bystander. So we're going to confront this bystander. And if I take any damage, I reduce the damage to 0. But I'm hoping not to take damage, so I can confront this guy. This guy is just sitting there. He's not doing anything. He is in danger. I need to get him away from there. So I can try to convince him with my mind. I can try to just basically pick him up and move him with my body. I can try to, not sure what I would be doing with my soul, but I can do that. Or I can intimidate him with my rage. So we are going to intimidate this guy with our rage. And we're rolling 4 rage dice for this, and it doesn't have anything that matches any of my skills, charm or sense. I could, if I wanted to, recycle 1 gift to gain charm 1, or, for instance, I could use my switchblade. If I discarded my switchblade to boost my rage damage, I would add strike to the check, and I would get plus 2 dice. Now, this minion by himself is not much of a threat to me, because I'm already rolling 4 dice, and if I want to get, 11, then I only need to get something like 4, a 3, and a 4. So basically average results on any of the dice would be sufficient. So what I can do, though, is just to play it a little safe, I'm going to recycle both these cards. I'm going to use Frank Block's special power to recycle 1 card to add 1 rage die, because I'm assembling using rage, and I'm going to use this Nexus's special power to recycle 1 gift to gain charm 1. So now I have charm as well. Okay, and that gives me 1 die. So I'm going to try to intimidate / charm this guy with all of these dice, and it should be fine. Yeah, totally fine. 10, 14. If I hadn't added those 2 dice, I actually, 4, 8, 10, I would be in trouble. But since I did add those 2 dice, we're doing just fine. So, bystander has been taken care of. And then, let's see. It says, if I win against Minion A, I may go to sanctify my location. So sanctify is a special step that you typically only go to if a card tells you to. And generally, if you defeat a minion, it's going to give you a chance to seal your location. your nexus. But you have to follow the rules. It says to guard or seal, it's a soul check using conjure with a difficulty rating of 12. So this would be bad for Frank Block to attempt, but this has the anybody at your nexus symbol. You or another saint at your nexus can do this. So we are going to try to seal this nexus using somebody else. We'll have River do it, and there's a reason for that may or may not come up. But basically, Diana Jones can try it if he fails. That's her special ability. So he is using 4 dice for his soul of 4, plus he has a conjure of 1, and we should be able to get a 12 with this. Okay, 10, 13. Perfect. Okay, so we have sealed this nexus. Now we check and see if there's any masters or anything in the nexus. There aren't any, so we're going to return all the other cards to the deck. This, the mission doesn't say I do anything special with these bystanders, so I'm just going to put it aside. And then normally this nexus itself would be returned to the box. But in this case, instead, we just move over to the next one, which is identical to this one. But that does count as moving, so I've passed the time when I can use my investigations. So we're basically now to the end step, and in the end step you draw back up. So he has a hand size of only 4, so we're drawing our 4 cards here, and we got another Omen of Hope and another Omen of Doom, and we are going to continue with Diana Jones's turn. Alright, so it's time for Diana Jones. So she has, for instance, this Seer card that she could examine the top cards of the deck. First, she's going to do her start step, which means she's going to draw the top card from the Doomsday Clock. It's going to be an Omen, so she keeps it. And she is just going to go ahead and use it. So it says, flip your nexus to Doom, which we ignore that part for this mission, and investigate it. If it's a gift, avoid it and investigate it again. This is extravagance. So if it's a gift, I have to avoid it, but it was not a gift. So this is Death's Head's Moths. Clotho does not get her own, and so she continues in heated silence, ever spinning. So this is going to be an okay one for me. I can do a soul check of 12. So what are these moths doing in this theater? It's strike, which I don't have. So for instance, I can discard my Seer to basically turn this into a sense check, which I do have, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to discard my Seer because I'm already using Soul, so I'm going to boost Soul, which means add 1 die. But I also added Sense, so I add 2 more dice. And I think I can handle it, especially because I can flip a card if I need to, or flip a die. Okay, check that out. 6, 12, and so on. I don't need any more than that. So I win against the Death's Heads, which means I get to heal 1. Now, heal means you take a random gift from your discard pile, or a random card from your discard pile, which was the Seer that I just discarded, and you shuffle it into your deck. And then this guy goes away, so, oh good, we got rid of those moths who are eating up the theater curtains, or something like that. Okay. Now, she has nothing else that is going to let her do any investigations on her turn. She could go back to a support step, but she doesn't have anything special for a support step. However, on her support step, River is going to use his prayer wheel, which says recycle, heal 2. But since it's a conjure card, instead of recycling, he gets to shuffle it into his deck. And this can be used on anybody's support step. And so she is going to heal 2. Like so. So now everybody's all nicely healed up, which is good because this is going to be an extra long mission, it being a 2-act one. Alrighty. And that is going to do it for that turn. So we're going to reset the hand. And she's got a nice omen in her hand now. And then we're going to move all the way over to River. Alright, so it's River's turn. He's going to draw his omen. Nothing he can do about it. This is the only omen he got. So he does have this heal all their conjure and surge gifts. He's going to hold on to that one. So sacrifice, flip your nexus to doom, skip that part. Investigate it. If it's a gift, avoid it, then investigate again. We already did extravagance. Okay, so we're going to see if this is a gift. It was a gift. Star Clock. Okay, so we have to avoid it. So we have to check in the rules about this word avoid. Because in Pathfinder, if you avoid a gift, well, I don't even know if they use the word avoid, but do you put it back in the deck? So we have to see. Yeah, you shuffle it back into the Nexus. Let's check that. Just to double check, we'll check it in the actual steps of the rules, because sometimes there's some things that are slightly differently described. So, avoid. When a power lets you avoid an investigation, the investigation ends, the investigated card is shuffled back into the deck it came from. So, we have to avoid and then investigate again. It doesn't say that we do this more than once, so if we get another gift, I believe we are going to just deal with it at that point. So, we get a free investigation, and it is authorities. Okay. So, we got the authorities here. They're investigating this theater on their own, but they are hopelessly outmatched. They have no idea what they're doing here. So, we have to convince them, for their own good, that there's something weird going on. I'm going to use my soul to try and do this. So, this is Charm or Study. Again, I don't have Charm or Study. I could play a card to give my check Charm or Study. Let's do that. Since we can reduce the cost or lower the cost, instead of discarding this grimoire to boost the soul, we're going to recycle the grimoire to boost the soul. And that gives me not only one extra die, but also gives me an extra die for turning it into a conjure check. So like, here, take a look at this grimoire. There's clues in here about this Crystal Mephistopheles. This is not the first time she pulled something like this. You guys don't know what you're doing. Okay. I think I won. Yeah. 6, 12, and then there's a bunch of other dice that I don't even need to look at. So it says win, draw 1 new rage gift. So, let's see what we get. This is awesome. Extra razor blades. Okay, so I guess the authorities confiscated these candied apples that were being sold in the lobby of the theater that were filled with extra razor blades. Oh no. Okay, and then he has nothing else that can let him investigate, so it's his explore step. I think, or it's not his explore step, I don't know what I'm saying. It's his transfer step, where he gets to either move or give a card to somebody. So I think he's going to give this card, or give one of his cards to Frank Block, and he's going to give the extra razor blades to Frank Block, because that will let Frank Block, I don't know why I keep saying his full name, add strike to his check, and that's something he's really good at. So that's what he does instead of moving. Okay, it's Frank's turn. So we're going to draw the top card here, Horror Show. So I have a lot of things I can do. So remember, this is the one I don't want to do because it makes me suffer damage. So I'm going to keep holding on to that card. Of course, I could always recycle it to add a rage die. I should have done that last time. And then this one says, flip your nexus to doom and investigate it. And evaluate versus a threat, trash the highest die. And this one says, flip your nexus to hope and investigate it and assemble using body, add 1 bonus die. So in this case, it would behoove me to see what's coming up next. Now the magic mason jar would let me do that, but that can only be played on Diana's turn itself. It doesn't seem like there's anything that's going to let me peek ahead. So we're just going to have to try. Let's do the Omen of Doom first, get it over with. And if it's a threat, we have to trash the highest die. It wasn't a threat, though, so that's great. Monstropedia. Okay. So, behind, I think I mentioned programs already, but you know the stand that sometimes you can get the programs from? There is this Monstropedia, this weird book that's in there. Somebody left there, some kid who was like really into role-playing games. But this is not just any monster manual. This has got some secrets in it that we might want to get our hands on. So, Frank is going to use his mind to try to get... to try and, I guess, unlock the secrets of this book so he can notice that it's not just a normal book. And he rolled very well on that. So he's taken this Monstropedia into his hand. Awesome. Now that wouldn't really help him at all, but it would help, for instance, Diana, because it says assemble using rage, discard, use mind instead. Okay, cool. So that was that. And then he can continue investigating, and I think he wants to. So he's going to try his Omen of Hope next. In assemble using body, add 1 bonus die. And it's Madame Ruse Elixir. Well, we are definitely going to use body for this. That's good timing. So this is also being sold in the lobby. It is being sold as like a, you know, just a fancy sort of themed drink. This is the Faustian play. They're like, ooh, it's a devil's elixir. But this is actually a powerful love potion. Oh no. So he would like to get his hands on this and then give it to River. So we're rolling 3 dice and we get 1 bonus die. I don't care that much about it, so I'm not doing anything else to influence this check. Yeah, we got it anyway. Cool. And since we have a ton of cards in our hand now, let's just go ahead and do our Omen of Doom and investigate again after taking 1 body or rage damage. Now, body or rage damage means I have to discard a body or rage gift if possible. If I don't have any of those cards in my hand, then I discard a random card out of my hand. So I have to choose one of these 2 cards to discard. However, I can also use my business suit. So this is even better. So it says reload, decrease your body or rage damage by 3. If it's not decreased to 0, sacrifice the gift instead. Well, guess what? That body damage I just took, my business suit, quote unquote, just absorbed it, and I put it back on top of my deck. And since I reduced it to 0, it has no effect. Awesome sauce. Okay, so I still get my investigate. A charm bracelet. Charmed, I'm sure. Okay, this is another one that River would be pretty good with because it can be used to boost soul, and it has that resist, and he gets 2 bonus dice out of resist. But again, I don't care that much about it because it is a basic starting thing. So we're just going to roll our 3 dice. Yeah, we're just going to roll our 3 dice and hope for the best. Didn't quite make it, got an 11, that's okay. All right, so that is the end of the turn, and then we go into the transfer step, and he is going to hand the Madame Ruse Elixir over to River, and then he is 1 card short, so he's going to draw 1, and look, it's that business suit again. Pretty awesome. That's actually a very good card. Okie dokie, so it is time for Diana's turn. Okay, so Diana's drawing the top Omen, and she has a choice now between Good Karma and the Hookup. The Hookup is good against a gift. Good Karma is good when using Soul. So we're going to use our Magic Mason Jar and see what's coming ahead. This is like basically, do you remember Navi? I think it was Navi. The little fairy from Legend of Zelda. This is basically that. A little fairy you keep in a jar, and it tells you where to go next. So we're going to see what's happening next. Oh, it is the Master. Oh, it's a really good thing that I peeked at that, because I want to make sure I'm prepared to face Crystal Mephistopheles. So it says, during assemble, you may display a gift of any virtue to add 1 matching die. Then if you win, sacrifice the gift. If you lose, recycle the gift. It's that whole, like, what I really like about this mission and this character is that they really, I think, capture that whole, like, the offer that's too good to be true sort of aspect of this, like, you know, devilish deals and whatnot. You know, she's tempting you. That's the word I'm looking for. She's got this temptation. Oh, I can add a die to the check, but then I have to sacrifice the gift I used. Oh no. And if I don't do that, then I recycle the gift, but that makes it harder. Anyway, so I think we can add charm by recycling a gift. We can use, let's see, we can use sense instead by using the mystic portal. So I would be rolling 3 dice, plus 1, so 4, plus 2 bonus dice. I think I can do it, and I have the dead sea salt if I really need to. So I think I can do this. So we're not going to be assembling using soul. So I think we're just going to go for the hookup. No, because I want those gifts. So let's go for the good karma. Yeah, that one. So we're going to investigate. Oh no, it's Crystal Mephistopheles, the star of the show. Or the director? Maybe. So while investigating in the wings, I run into the director of the show, who happens to be a devilish lady herself. And so I have to do 16 mind. It's going to be really tough, but I think I can do it. So we're going to discard the Mystic Portal to boost mind. So I'm rolling all 4 of these mind dice, even this one I didn't like. I'm not sure if it actually affects the rolls or not. That's why I've been trying not to use it. I mean, I've done like a bunch of test rolls. It seems to be fairly random, but at the same time, that is not a normal shape for a die, so I'm not 100% sure. All right, so we're rolling those 4 dice plus 2 from sense. And if I wanted, I could get assistance from River. The problem with assistance is that then she would get a mutation and become even more difficult. But since I can already manipulate my dice pretty easily, I can flip a die and I can flip dice with dead sea salt, I think we're good. So I'm not going to display a gift. I'm not going to take her up on her offer. And let's see what we can do. Wow! That was awesome. 666. The number of the beast that is Diana Jones, defeating Crystal Mephistopheles. Awesome at her own game. So cool. Okay, so we win, which means nothing happens from this card because I didn't actually display a gift. And then we go to the terminate step, and it says go to sanctify. The master will try to escape, and we automatically seal a nexus if we won. So she's going to try to escape. And how escape means, oh man, what escape means is basically the process of trying to find a nexus to hide in. The master attempts to escape after any guard step or terminate step of any confrontation versus a master that tells you to go to sanctify step. The active saint seals the master archetype, or sets the master archetype aside, and the master attempts to escape. So if we had saints at other nexuses, they would try to guard these nexuses. Since we don't, she's just trying to escape right into the only remaining nexus, basically, because they can't. If you won versus the master, they can't escape into the nexus they came from. Let's find that there. If you won versus the master, draw a number of new omens equal to the number of unguarded nexuses minus the number of set-aside master archetypes, if any. And then seed 1 card from this pile into each unguarded nexus. So I don't think we have to guard our nexus. So the way the rules are worded here is a little confusing, but having played Pathfinder adventure card game, it's pretty much the same process. So basically, if I terminate versus a master, I have to go to Sanctify, and we're going to go through these guard, escape, and seal steps. If there's no master, we just go straight to the seal step. Now the guard step is one saint at each other hope nexus may attempt to fulfill the nexus's guard requirement to succeed at guarding. If a saint won versus master, that saint's nexus is guarded. Then we go to escape, and we basically shuffle in the master with a number of, since we won versus the master, it would be omens. If we lost versus the master, it would be threats, equal to the number of unguarded nexuses. Now, since this is automatically guarded with just one master, and then we shuffle one random card from that pile into each remaining nexus. So since this is just the one master and just the one nexus, that's fine. She just gets shuffled into this remaining nexus. And then we go to the seal step, and it says that since I won versus the master, my attempt to seal is automatically successful. I don't even need to make this attempt. So this gets sealed. So unfortunately, I had 2 star clocks in there. So these 2 star clocks get returned to the box, and the thing in the basement gets returned to the box. And Crystal Mephistopheles is escaped into the theater again. And since we have essentially, for all intents and purposes, closed our location or sealed our nexus and returned it to the box, quote unquote, that means that we automatically all move to the next nexus in the line, which is this one, but it's too late to go back to the investigate step because that counted as my move step. So I'm going to draw back up. Cool. Okay, so it is River's turn. At the start step, we are going to draw an omen. It is Gut Punch. In damage, first bury 1 card. So we're going to try not to get damaged. So we're going to, well, let me put this over here so I don't forget about it. And we're going to see what's the top card. Oh no, it's a minion. So this is another bystander, another innocent bystander caught in the theater. Basically just get to deal with him. Now he has charm and sense. So, for instance, I could use my soul and my sense, I guess in this case it means my common sense, to try and get this guy out of the theater. So we're going to do that. Now this is a threat, so I could take damage from this, but it's only a target of 11. And I have my Madame Ruse elixir that I can use if I really need to. So I think we're good. Okay. 10, 13 is a pretty good number in my opinion. So this guy has been dealt with. So that means this minion is out of play. And now I may go to Sanctify. So we can attempt to seal this location with a soul conjure check. Now either Diana Jones or River Batiste could do this fairly well. They both have the same stats for this. We're going to have River do it, and that is because, remember, Diana Jones can try it if he fails. But it doesn't work the other way around. 5, 9, 14, 13. Okay, so that, well, it was close, but we got it. So that was actually very, very good luck, because now we're going to go through and basically get rid of all the cards in the deck that are not a master, and then just leave the master in the deck. Okay, so it says, if you succeed, search the Nexus for any master archetypes. If you find any, set them aside. Sacrifice all other cards in the Nexus. If you found any master archetypes, shuffle them together and put them back in the Nexus so that the Nexus only has the remaining masters. Otherwise, the Nexus is empty and therefore sealed. Sacrifice the Nexus card and go to the move step. So I believe that sacrifice the Nexus card and go to the move step applies to the idea of if it is empty and therefore sealed. If not, I don't think I sacrifice this Nexus card, because that would be weird, because then there would be no location for us to be at. So this master remains at the location. It is not sealed. I think that means that I don't therefore go to the move step, but I don't have any cards left to investigate anyway. So we have, a bunch of bad things that could have happened, but also some good things. And then Puddles the Clown. And that is going to be it for River's turn, because he's not going to do anything else on his turn. You know, he keeps forgetting this. At the start of his turn, recycle one card, draw one card. Got to remember to do that. So I'm going to draw back up, and we are going to now attempt to win. But let me see if I can take on, because I know this is Crystal. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can take her on with Frank. Because I could use Bones, but it seems like I really want Diana Jones to be taking her on again. I mean, look at this lady. Look at Diana Jones. Clearly, she's the devil's worst nightmare. So I think with Frank, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my card. Oh, look, it's an omen. And I am going to then go straight to my end step, because I don't need to do anything else. And I have to recycle one card out of my hand. We're going to recycle this Monstropedia. Actually, I could transfer it. I could give it to somebody. Use Mind instead. Yeah, we'll give that to Diana. And then that's his turn. Okay. And then we are going to go to Diana Jones's turn. She's going to, again, draw the top Omen card. And then she's going to deal with this crystal. So we're going to use our Omen of Pain, because that says, in Evaluate, trash the highest rage die. I don't plan to be rolling any rage dice, so this is a good time to be using it. Strategy. So we are going to investigate. I gotta just make sure I'm not missing anything I should be doing. Yeah, I think we're good. We're going to investigate. Aha! It is Crystal Mephistopheles. I would never have expected. Pull off the mask, just like in Scooby-Doo. And then I think we are going to be rolling. We get to choose. We get to roll Soul or Mind. And in this case, actually, I don't have anything that gives me my sense bonus for Mind, so I think I will be rolling Soul. So we're going to do Magic Mason Jar to boost my Soul. So this is like a battle of wills, a battle of souls against Crystal Mephistopheles herself. I'm not going to try those rerolls because I have things that let me flip my dice. I think I'm safe. I mean, getting a 17, it's going to require me to get pretty lucky. If I roll all 3s and 4s, I will be screwed. But if I roll like 1s and 2s, I can turn those into 5s and 6s, and I'll be fine. Whew, this is tough. Yeah, I don't need to add a matching die either. So. Wow, I didn't even need to do anything. Look at that, 6, 12, 17, right there. Boom, Crystal Mephistopheles, you dead. All right. But she's not dead, because the plot twist of this mission is, if you would win, set aside Crystal Mephistopheles. I assume that means the master archetype, not the card itself. Return all Nexus decks to the box and begin Act 2 instead. So we're going to go straight to the setup for Act 2, which is in here. And it remains Diana Jones's turn.